Hello, this is Tim. I hope you're all doing well. We're on example number 7, and I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to skip example number 8. If you can do example number 7, we're going to do the 3 orthographic projections and an isometric. On this video, I'm getting tired of the old orthographics, and I'm going to leave example number 8 for yourself. You should do it. And then the next video will be example number 9. We're going to teach you something called I think it's called a polar array. Okay, so let's look at example number 7 for a second. So what will we do? We're going to go new sheet sets, manufacturing imperial, and this is our template that we're going to use. And I'm going to go to model. I'm going to turn on the grid. I'm going to go to layer properties, and I'm going to go new layer. We're going to call this construction 1. Let's make this yellow. And let's just go with that. And I'm going to give myself 0, 0, 0, 0. My polar is on, so I can just snap to there like that. Lovely. We'll right click on the here, get rid of that, and let's have a look. So let's just get our 3 boxes. So this is going to be our front view, that's going to be our top view, and that's going to be our right hand view. And do you remember what type of orthographic projection it's called? It's called third angle here in the United States. That's the configuration of projection that we're doing. So let's draw our 3 boxes. We need 4 3/4, 4.75 to there. And what's the height? 1 3/4. So I'll go offset again, 1.75. That's the first box. I'm going to do an array. I'm going to give myself a spacing of 2 inches. That's good. And I'm going to get myself another spacing of 2 inches. I think the trick in this problem is going to be doing the isometric again. These angles are going to be a real pain, and I might not be able to do them. So, but hold on. Let's not be too pessimistic. Right now, let's think about this. I have 2 5/8. 2 5/8. Offset 2.625 to there, and then this has to be 2 5/8. I'm going to press enter, and then here. So here are our 3 boxes. This is our front view. This is our top, and that's our side. Look, and there's no harm in let's go new layer. We're going to call this Dimen 1. I'm going to make this side. I'm going to go with the green because it's St. Patrick's Day today. And let's go text. And I'm going to call this view front. I'm going to highlight it all. Romans, not really. I like Arial or Tahoma. There we go. And we go bold. That works. I like that. I'm going to put the front there. Control C, Control V. That's going to be top. Now I need to move him over a little bit and line him up. That'll do. And then, oh yeah. What am I doing here? I'm clicking on it, hitting Control C, and then hitting Control V. What am I doing? I'm copying and pasting. That's what it's called. You know that already. Alright, I'm pressing Control A to select everything, and I'm just putting inside. Okay, front top side. Alright, let's go back here for a sec. We have this L shape that we would see, and then we would come up 3/4. So it's like an L shape, and then that's 1. Okay. I'm not going to remember any of that. Let's do this. I'm going to go back to my 0 layer, and it looks something like this. I got Now why is it not snapping? I'll turn on my snap. I'll go from there down to there, over to there. I need to come up 0.75. Now what's that length? I may as well come over from the other side. That's 1 3/4, so it's 1 and 1. Okay. So I'll start here. I'll come over 1. I'll come down 1, and then I come over and it snaps in. Lovely. I have my L shape. Okay. That was easy. Okay, now we have the L shape. Let's worry about the top shape. So, alright, let's think about this. So what I would say is let's worry about, imagine that there's no cutout here, this 60-degree cutout, and imagine that there's no cutout here. Let's just deal with that. So I'm going to draw a rectangle from here to here. I'm going to get myself a construction line, and I'm going to project this line all the way up, like so. And we know, or hopefully you know, that we'll have a line right there. Now we know that we have some sort of an angle going on here, so I need to come down 1 1/4. Let's just do a 1 1/4 line. All right, offset 1.25. 1.25. All right, and then how is it a 30-degree line from there? Okay. All right. What's my brain thinking here? I'm going to always pick the easiest way to do this. So I'm going to make that look. I'm going to make it a length of 3, and then I'm going to hit the Tab key, and I'm going to make this 30 degrees. And that's what I got. There's probably a better way to. I'm going to just trim it. So I have that, and let's get. I need a center line. And we need a 2 1/4 from this end. An offset 2.25. Now what is there's a rectangle here that comes in. What is it? It's a width of 5/8. Oh, my brain is melted. What's 5/8? 0.625. That means it's 5/8. I think that's 5/16 then, which is 0.3125. So I'll go offset 0.3125, and I'll go from there to there and there to there, and we have a box. Like so. And I'm going to mirror that to the other side. So I'll go, where's mirror? Here it is. This is the chap that we want. I'm going to mirror I can use that point and this point. I can use any 2 points along any of those lines. I've got loads of them to select from. And there. Do we want to delete the source object? I'm going to press enter because no. And then I'm going to turn off my construction, see what's going on. And I'm going to hit trim. I press enter to select all, to select everything. What does that mean? I want to select all the geometry to be part of it, and then I can trim that. I can trim that. I can trim this. Lovely. Now, does that look right to you? Okay. All right. And then we have this business going on here at the top. I'm going to draw that in the side view. So hold on a second. I'm going to turn on my construction lines. And I'm going to get myself a horizontal line. Alright, right, rectangle, like so. Do you see, if you make this distance the same as this distance, and they're both 2 inches, you can do something. You can get yourself a 45. I don't know if I want to do that. Let me just get a center line here. Now I'm using that midpoint there, so make sure that midpoint is turned on in your snap, your object snap. We also have, hopefully you realize that there's a line there going from there to there. Why? It has a corresponding line here. Every line will have a not all, it'll have a corresponding line. It might not be shown though. Okay. Now what do we need to do here? We need to go back to construction. I'm going to go to here, array, not array, offset, 0.3125. I'm going to make this guy offset to there, and make that offset to there. And I'm just going to draw these lines in. Like so. Alright, okay. I'm going to delete all of these construction lines. Anything I don't really need. I'm going to bring, I have this point here. You see this point? I'm going to have to drop a line down there. You're going to see that edge. What am I talking about? It's this edge here. How do I get that? It's wherever that point is, I bring my construction line down. Let's just draw, oops, let's draw that line in. Okay. Now I need to draw this. Okay, let's draw this. So I need to come down a half, and I have 1 1/8. So offset 0.5. I need, let's get this 1 1/8. 1 1/8. I'm going to get my old calculator out. Can I be of assistance? 1.125 divided by 2, thinking 0.5625. Thank you. Alright, offset 0.5625, and I'm going to go from here to there and from there to there. Now, 60 degrees from there down, and 60 degrees. Let's go back and think about this. Okay, 60 degrees. So from there I need a 60-degree line, and from there I need a 60-degree line. And I'm just going to get my 0, my main layer. I'm going to come here. Now it's telling, if I don't really care about the length. I'm going to make this just 1, and I'm going to hit tab. And I want that to be 120. Okay. And I'm going to check it. Dimension. I'm going to go from, that's nice, yeah. Now it won't lock onto that because it's a construction line, so I'm going to have to draw another temporary line. Now let me think about this. Is that really going to be 60 degrees? It's going to be this, lad. Okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of that. Let's draw that in there like so. And I'll get my dimension, and I'll go from here to there. Lovely. Okay. I have to think it. Like, I've been doing stuff like this for a long time, and this stuff makes me think, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Let's mirror all of this to the other side. Select objects. I'm going to go from there to there, and then I'm going to turn off my what's going on there? I did that too fast. Mirror. there to there. The array source objects, no. Okay. Trim. Boom. That wasn't too painful. Top, front, side. Now we have to, I don't see any line here. Now I'm going to get rid of both of those lines and have one line. I don't see any corresponding line over here. This line should have a cousin over here, which I do not see. And would we see that line? This is a cutout here, and we see this outside wall. Would we see that line there? No, we won't, but it's still there. So what type of line do we use? Do you remember? Right click, new layer, hidden, continuous, load, hidden. No, come on. Lovely. Alright, I'm going to get myself, I have my hidden line, I'm going to put a line from there to there, and that'll do the job. What else? We have a cutout here. Where is this line? This line should have a corresponding line down there. We need to show from this view that this cutout goes all the way through, but can we see it from this side? We can't. It's still there though. Every line should have a cousin. So this line is going to have a line here. It's hidden because it's behind the object. Now let's think. We're going to see, I'm going to do something like this. I was disputing whether I was going to do it or not. I'm going to get myself a 45-degree line. So I'm going to get myself a construction line. A for angular, 45, and I'm going to go from the very top right point on the original box. And notice, this only works as long as this distance is the same as that distance. And notice it goes all the way through. I want you to notice how, if I draw a line, this is magic. When I was in high school and I saw this, I thought this was magic. Wherever this line here, which is its cousin of this line, wherever this line intersects the 45 and comes across, it'll draw that line. But I'm not going to do that. So I just want to show you. What I want is, I want these two lines. Now you're going to see, when you're looking down from the very, very top, you're going to see that line and you're going to see that line. They're going to be solid lines. So let's draw those in. And I'm going to draw them there. So I go to construction. Oops, I go to zero layer, and I'm going to draw those in. Boom. I'm pressing the escape key a lot to get out of the command. I draw my line and then I hit escape and I'm gone. Now I'm going to get rid of those lines. They've done what I needed them to do. I need to put other lines in there. And let's get rid of this one too. And these two. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to construction. And I'm going to go from this point. I bet you forgot about these guys. Would you see that line if you were looking straight down like a bird and there's a line there? Would you see those lines? No, you won't, but they're still there. We have to draw them in. Wherever this intersects, wherever that intersects, we're going to transcribe, if that's even a word, a line across, or just scribe a line over. Like so. What type of line are we going to draw here? A hidden line. Right, let's turn off the construction layer. And is there anything missing here? We're missing two lines. Are we missing more? Just two lines, I think. If we're looking in from the front of this object, you'll see 6 lines. You'll see this line, you'll see this, you'll see this, you'll see this, you'll see this, and you'll see the other one. Now, so we're missing those two lines. So let's turn on the construction. And let's just get rid of these lines here. Some people, when they're drawing this type of drawing, they will have multiple construction layers. They will not delete the existing construction layer, which is smart. They'll just hide it and then create another one. I'm too lazy to do that, but look, that's the right way of doing it. I'm teaching you bad habits already. So I bring those down, and then here we go. We have from there to there, and from there to there, and let's turn off the construction layer. Okay, top, front, side. I think that's it. Right, I'm going to take a quick cup of tea. We're going to do the isometric, which is going to be a beast, I think. And then we're going to add the dimensions, and then we're going to put it on a drawing. I'll see you in a few minutes. Right, so the next step, we're going to do the isometric, then we'll do the dimensions, and then we'll throw it on the drawing. In order to do the isometric, I'm going to turn off the snap, F3. I'm going to use a normal snap, but let me look at these dimensions here for a second. 5/8, 1/8, so we're going to have to use an 1/8 snap. That's fine. And right, snap. What size? 0.125. Okay. And then I'm going to turn on the ISO plane, and we're drawn in a different plane or angle. So let's look at this here. This is where we're going to start. We'll go down 4 3/4. We'll box all this in. Let's just start with the L shape, 4 3/4. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to come down 4.75. I'm on the wrong layer. Let's put this on 0. There you go. 4.75. And how high are we going to go? 1 3/4. 1.75. Ah, shite. Stay there. There you go. And we have the dimensions here. I didn't put the dimensions on. Go on, let's put these dimensions on here, and it'll make life a bit easier. I'm going to turn the snap off. Come on now. Snap off. And let's go back to let's turn this off. Come on now. There we go. And we get the dimensions going. 1.75. 0.75. From there to there. 2 5/8. We go from here to there. Let's bring this out a little bit. No, that's good. That's good. And then we go from here, that point there, to there. No, I don't. Okay, let's do this. We go from here to there. 30 degrees is better. From there to there, 1. What else? Right, I need my snap back on object snap if I want to get these points. Come on, there you go. To there, lovely. Let's zoom out. Okay, 1.25. What else are we missing here? We have that depth. We need this width. Let's move him in a bit closer. You go from there to there. That's a bit funky. Let's try that again. 0.625, lovely. I wish those dimensions didn't cross there. I'll see if I can mess with that in a sec. What else we missed? We got that. We got the angles. I think we want to put in a center line. Annotate a center line. Put one in from there to there. We got that. This looks good. We need an overall dimension there. That'll do. I don't like having these guys. Can I move that up there like that? .475. Now we get these angles going. Let's get another center line in. I don't like that, no. 0.5. Right, what else can we have here? What are we missing? I think that's it. Okay, now let's get back to our isometric. That wasn't too painful. And let's turn this back on. Let's turn off the object snap. Let's turn on the normal snap. And let's set it to 0.125. Okay. Now how we're here. I need to come up points. The advantage of putting your dimensions in here before doing this is if I'm looking at trying to figure out a dimension and I'm not showing it here, then I know that I'm missing it. So I'm at this point, and I'm coming up. I had to snap. I didn't use an object snap to find that point. It's just a normal snap. I'm going to bring it north, 0.75, and then I'm going to come over. I'm going to see. I'm kind of guessing though. You know, am I on the right? Am I the right angle there? Now what is that? That's 2.625. 2.625. And I'll come down 0.75 and over there like that. So just let's box this in. If I put a dimension on this 4.75, that's to the very end. That's okay. And then we're here, and I'm going to bring this down. How much? 1. Then I'm going to come down. I'm checking that all of these lines are parallel when I'm drawing. These lines are parallel. These lines are parallel. If they're not parallel, you're going off the wrong angle. Now we said 1.75, so this comes down. Stop. This comes down 1, and then that should lock into there. Now does that look right? I think so. Okay. I'm going to go here, and we're going to come over 2.625. Is that right? 2.625. And I'll stop. Come here. I'll come down 1, and then see, something's not right there. 2.625. 2.625 over in this direction. Let's get a dimension on this. 2.625. 2.625. Okay. Now what's wrong? Let's maybe can can I connect this to there? I think that's right then, and then I'll go from here to there, and we'll get this, and we have that. Painful. Okay, we got that. The next step is getting this cut out here. I feel like I need a break after doing that. It's that taxing on me. Anyway, I'd love to have a dimension. I'm going to just put this in here. That goes from that line there to, and I'm going to turn off this. Come on now, go ahead, yeah. How do I get out of ISO mode? Alright, how do I get back into, we're still here, snap mode. I think that's my snap, is what I want, grid snap, and I can change it. Okay, I got that. Now I have isometric snap on. I'm going to go to rectangular snap. So let's get a dimension from, there you go, come on now. Let's get a dimension going from there. See, I need the bloody, there you go, come on. From that point, I'm going to start swearing now in about 2 seconds. But anyway, 1 inch, okay, pain. Alright, let's turn on ISO. I need to right snap mode here, snap settings. We want isometric snap. 0. One. Now what is it? 2.25. It's very loud ringtone. 0.625. Bloody hell. Let's turn off this snap here. F3. Okay. This brings me back. What we're going to do now is I need to go from here. Okay, now why is that not snapping? Do I need to change this ISO plane? Here we go, 0.75. 0.75. And I'm just going to bring this line all the way down. That's all you're going to see of that. And then I hit trim, press enter, and get rid of that business, get myself a line here. And that looks decent enough. Let's save this, and let's call this, what are we on now? Lesson 7. The isometrics, I told you before, but they're challenging. Okay, so I'm going to come up 1 1/4. I'm going to come up here. Now what? I'd like a dimension that goes from. Can I go from there to there? I have a 30. Okay. Let's find where this line is first of all. That's confusing enough. It's 1 1/4. I'm going to draw a line from there up 1.25, and then I'm going to draw a line up like so, and I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to come over 1.25, and I'm going to draw a line up like so. I know that I have a 30-degree line going off. I can't just put 30 degrees in. I'd have to, I don't even know how I do that. I need to know where that point is there. And, okay, let's turn off the old snap mode. Let's turn on this. Let's turn on, I'm going to go to snap settings and go rectangular snap. And I need to know this dimension. I need to know what it is from this line to there. Let's try that again. I'm going to go from there to there. That's some mad. So 0.7217. 0.72. I'm going to delete that in a second. 0.7217. That's a bit strange. Okay. I'm going to go to 0. And I'm going to start here. And I'm going to come over there. 0.7217. No. We've got to turn on snap settings, turn on isometric snap. I need to turn on isoplane top. I'll get myself a line. I'm going to start there. I'm going to hit F3 to turn this stuff off. I'm turning off the object snap, 0.7217. And I'm going to drop, now see I'm in the wrong, at least I have that line there now. And I'm going to go to isoplane left. And I'm going to, no. Isoplane right, that's probably what we want. Anyway, okay. Line. See, I can't snap to that anymore, so let's do this again. Oh my god. Line. I don't have a snap anymore, that's why. Snap. 0.125, okay. There we go. Let's start from there. And we're going to come up 0.7217. Will it let me do that? And then I come down to here. And I'm going to do the same from here. From here down 0.7217. And I'll drop that down. And I'm going to get my trim. 1. Why won't it let me get rid of that? I'm going to turn off trim. Press enter. Interesting, yeah. Look, I don't know why it won't let me delete these things. What happens if can I go in there? I'm manually deleting these things. I apologize. I'm doing a poor job of explaining what's going on. I'm just honestly it's tricky stuff. Now let's just do this side here for a second. My lazy brain wants me to just grab this point and move this over. In order to do that, I'm going to have to turn on the snap F3. I think. There you go. Why is there 2 lines there? There you go. And then I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to just have to trim that. There we go. And then we're going to connect this point to there. And this point to there. Tough stuff. And then I'm going to delete this bit of it. And I'm going to delete that bit of it. And it's going to go from that point. This thing is going crazy. Right. Let's go. Can we go trim? Enter. And get rid of that. Let's turn off. I want to turn off our snap. Let's see if we can do it. I'm going to go from there to there. That's it. We'll hit save. Stuff is tough. when you've been using SolidWorks, it makes this stuff so easy. But this is it's good to know where we get it from. All right, I'm going to come up 3/4 and then over, so we'll get these lines here. So let's start with that. Line 0.375. Is it 3/4 or 3/8? I can't remember. 3/4. Okay. Line 0.75. Last stop. Let's turn off. Hit F3 to turn off the snap. And then I'm going to come down here, 0.75, and then over, and then I'm going to hit trim, hit enter to select all, and I'm going to get rid of that stuff. Alright, okay, what's next? We need to come down a 1/2 inch here and then draw a line, scribe a line across. So I'm going to probably have to get a different isoplane, one that points down. I don't like that one there. I'm going to try the other one, isoplane. No, that's the one we want. Because I'm going to come down 0.5, but then I'm going to come all the way across. Now I need to know what this dimension is here, or I need to know what that dimension is. You doing alright, babe? Alright. Did he do his business? F3. And I'm going to go from there to there. Strange, it's a funny dimension. What about if we go from here to there? Let's just get this dimension here. So you have the snaps turned on. It's going to drive you nuts. We'll have to turn it off. You know, just so we're clear, this is object snap, but then there's the snapping to the grid, and both of them have use. Okay, 0.4613. 0.4613, okay. So in order to get this point here, I need to get on this line. We need to turn on the snap settings, turn on isometric snap, and I'll start here and come over 0.4613, and I should have, and if I come over, let's change the isoplane. We want to go in this direction, so I'm going to come over 1 inch, isn't it? So the line I want, what's up, Ollie? Is going to go from there to there, and I don't need this because you're not going to see that. I'm going to hit trim. What was that? Let's delete that. Okay. 0.4613. Let's go back here and do the same on the other side. I'll get a line. Can I go down in this direction? No. .4613, and then I come up in this direction 1, and I'll draw a line from there to there, and there to there, and this point to there. Is that correct? And then we get our trim, and I think I deserve a beer. There, that's it. Is that right or is that wonky? It's hard to know. So, what's next? Can we do it with that dimension there? Come on. Let's turn off the snap. Hit F3. Here we go. Now we can move that stuff around a bit better. Let's just line up these dimensions. Okay, I'm going to move this over a bit closer. There we go. I think that's it. I'm going to go to ANSI title block. I go to layout, rectangular. I press enter. Let's do this. Let's delete the viewport. Let's go back here, turn off the grid, go back to the title block, layout, rectangular, double click in here, and I'm going to drop this down here, this zoom, and get zoom window, and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. That is looking good. Hit model to get back into paper space. You can double click. I'm too lazy now. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to pack it in, but you're going to double click on this stuff and you're going to change the name. You're going to add your name, add the organization. What else? That's about it. What is this? It's going to be AutoCAD lesson number 7, and that was it. That isometric really it beat me up. I haven't done one in a while. I'm not really sure if this is right. It looks okay, and you have all the dimensions in there. It's not a bad job. And the next exercise I'm going to turn on to is this. Shouldn't be too difficult. You should definitely be able to do this. I'm not going to bother doing that because I'm sick and tired of isometrics. I'm going to move on to example number 9. Okay, and we're going to cover something called a polar array and practice with the dimensions. That's it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.